What does buying your first property in BC look like? Well, I'm going to let you see everything that I did to buy my first property here in BC. Hey, I'm Devin, born and raised in Coquitlam, BC. I'm also a realtor, and we're going to take a look at what I did 3 years ago. So let's zoom back to that. It's late 2020. No COVID, no nothing. Market was relatively calm. Interest rates were relatively low, 3%, maybe 3.5. I was a new realtor, so not much really going on. No deals back then, but I was hungry, ambitious, and I thought to myself, buying a condo is probably a smart idea because it's going to be worth so much more in the future. So that's exactly what I did. I searched and I searched and I searched for a vigorous 3 to 4 weeks. I didn't really put too much time into it. Even being a realtor, I don't even know what I was thinking back then, but I found a place, Port and Mill. Port and Mill is in Burquitlam, BC, 645 Como Lake Avenue, 175 units, 6 stories, mid-rise, wood frame building, built by Qualico and developed by Street Side. So why did I like this development? Well, I went to the showroom and I was blown away. 10% deposit structure. Actually, fairly reasonably priced condos, even at that time. Good builder, good developer, and most importantly, it was a 5-minute walk away from Burquitlam Station and the new Safeway, which is a huge selling feature being that close. And I said, I gotta have one of those units. So I ended up writing an offer. Now, I don't have the exact offer to show you, but I basically have the main summary of it right here to go over. I know contracts are hard to look at, and I really don't like doing it either, but if you look at this, it's a basic template of what I kind of got for the unit. Surprisingly, the builder said yes. I was a little sad to part way with my Pokemon collection, but in the end of the day, it was a good deal. So from then on, I waited and waited and waited and waited until finally it was near completion and I had to do 2 major things. Number 1, I had to get a mortgage. I couldn't pay for this whole thing. Like I said, 10% deposit. I came up with this many Pokemon cards and they said, great, but we need a lot more Pokemon cards to actually give you this whole condo. So I got a mortgage. And that was not very fun, but it had to be done. I had to give them what I felt was my whole life story. They took that information and they said, yes, Devin, you get a mortgage if your mom or dad co-signs. Well, a little embarrassing, but that's okay. It's crazy. I was with this bank for like 9 years and oh my God, they just don't trust me. But I got number 1 out of the way. Number 2, I had to get myself a lawyer. Why? Because I got to make sure that they dot all the I's and cross all the T's on that contract. And I'm safe, the builder's safe, everything goes correctly. Next, I had to do what's called a walkthrough. About a month before the place was actually fully built and ready to move in, I got to walk through the property for the first time, see what it looks like, and through this walkthrough, we're actually going to try to find any deficiencies with the property. So if a drawer's not opening, or maybe the gas stove isn't turning on this one spot, maybe there's a little bit of marks on the walls because the paint got hit when someone was moving appliances. It could be anything. So we went through, made sure there was no problems, it was all fixed up, and then bada bing, bada boom, that was over. Then about 3 or 4 days before the completion move-in date, I went to the lawyers, signed off, made sure that that fair negotiation of Pokemon's cards for this 1-bedroom and den was all set and done. It's perfect, and now I get to move in. But before the video ends, I want to actually tell you a couple of actual serious things about buying a condo. Number 1, you need to know, especially for pre-sale, there is something called GST, which is a 5% tax for any property that is built brand new. So if we're looking at, say, we're going to use $500,000 condo, 5%, I'm pretty sure that's close to 25 grand. You're going to pay about 25 grand in GST. Number 2, if you're not a first-time home buyer and under some exact exemptions, you're going to have to pay what's called property transfer tax, PTT. Which for about like a 500K unit or something like that can be anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000. Of course, if the property is a lot more, it's going to be higher than that, but I want you to know that. And then the third one I want to say is a lawyer. Lawyers are not cheap. as we all probably know. So look at, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending on how big your case is and the profile you're getting and the condo you're purchasing. But I want you to make sure you have some money in the bank to pay those guys. And then another one that I didn't even think of, but now we know, because I got under 20%, there's things called uninsured and insured mortgage. If you're under 20%, then you're going to have to get, most of the time, an insured mortgage, meaning when you take out that mortgage, there's got to be some type of insurance against it, which costs money and is added to the mortgage. I don't know a lot more. I'm not a mortgage broker, but it can be about $10,000 to $15,000 for, like I said, something around that $500,000 mark. But if you do hover that 20%, it's uninsured because we're all good. But I just wanted to let you know those costs. And yeah, that was my first journey buying a condo. Stick around. I got another video coming up on selling my first condo that you don't want to miss. Thanks for watching.